Guys, I love me some Mother. No, I don't have an Oedipus complex. The Mother series, particularly Earthbound and its sequel, are some of the best, yet least well-known RPGs ever released. That being said, Mother 3, aka the sequel to Earthbound and the last of its trilogy. Despite being one of the best RPGs I've had the pleasure of playing, the game hasn't been released in North America. Thankfully, it has been fully translated by fans, and thanks to them, Mother 3 can be played in English, and although this game has gathered a lot of attention, that doesn't change the fact that too many people still don't know about this awesome RPG. Let's change that by reviewing Mother 3 for the Game Boy Advance. For those of you who don't know, Mother 3 was originally planned for the N64, but for various reasons, the game was cancelled and then eventually released on the Game Boy Advance in 2006, taking place many years after Earthbound on a place called the Nowhere Islands. And it's now that I realize how hard it is to say anything about the plot without revealing any spoilers. So all I can say is that the game follows the adventures of Lucas, a young child with the ability to use PSI, along with his family and friends, and their struggle against the Pig Mask Army, a mysterious organization bent on taking over the islands through militarization and industrialization. The plot is divided into 8 chapters, the latter 8 chapters taking place 3 years after the first few chapters. Yeah, I know that's a pretty vague way to summarize the premise, but you really have to trust me when I say the game does not waste any time story-wise, and it gets right into it. Let's go over the main characters. Firstly, we have Lucas, whom you strangely don't actually play as for a while. Lucas is a well-tempered, gentle child whose innocence is thoroughly tested by the events of the story. Despite being mostly silent, he drives the plot in a way clearly similar to his predecessor, Ness, since he becomes the emotional core of the story. But, in that same vein, he's less of a vessel for the player and more of his own character. Lucas's father Flint, is a strong, silent man, but much like his other son, Klaus, Lucas's twin brother, he lets his emotions get the better of him sometimes. There is Princess Kumatora, a tomboy who's a nice contrast from Anna and Paula, being pretty outspoken and spunky. And finally, there's Duster, a loner and a thief who's silent, but deadly. Okay, not really deadly when you consider that one of his main weapons is a tickle stick. John Ticklestick, perhaps? Those are the playable characters, not including your dog and your adorable performing monkey, but believe it or not, they don't get many lines. There's a huge cast of quirky and memorable characters across the game, including the Magypsies, powerful entities who act like transvestites, the well-natured but gullible townspeople, and like other Mother games, just countless other memorable and quirky things. Also in accordance with previous games, the main villains of Mother 3 are extremely interesting and unforgettable, but I can't spoil. If you feel that I'm not really doing the story and characters justice with my limited descriptions, that is something I have to do, because Mother 3 easily has one of the strongest narratives in any RPG I've played. It has everything: an incredible adventure, quirky mother humor, and a large, colorful world to explore. Despite this, the best part of the game are its tragic elements. Mother 3 is one of the most moving video games of all time, and keep in mind that this is on the Game Boy Advance, a system without the bells and whistles that consoles have. The story takes depressing dives, delivers a subtle yet powerful message about the dangers of technology, consumerism, and industrialization, but it maintains a great balance between that and the classic mother humor that always leaves room for optimism. Seriously, from the heart-wrenching beginning to the psychedelic terrors to the fields of sunflowers, the incredible ending, and back, Mother 3 does it all. And it helps that the translation is almost flawless. There's really nothing I can say other than that Mother 3 has one of the most moving video game narratives ever. I'm also happy to say that the gameplay is no slouch either. Much like its predecessor, Mother 3 features strong classical RPG gameplay. Enemies you can see on screen, and again, approaching them from different angles will net you either a surprise attack or an ambush. You'll get a variety of characters to use, each with preset skills and abilities, but it is kind of annoying that you have to use the characters that the game tells you to, leaving a little less room for customization, but no big deal, there's still some great strategy. Especially with the rolling health counter they brought back from Earthbound. I love this thing. It's just awesome how they break the fourth wall and get you to quickly mash the buttons and input your attacks to survive. In addition, aside from the many more character-specific attacks and functions, you also get the musical combo system, which is new in Mother 3, where, if you tap a button in time with the beat of the song playing, you can actually do extra damage, and a lot, that being said. Aside from being awesome for its creativity, this is a great way to keep you from just hammering the A button and not paying attention to what's going on screen, which is a problem that unfortunately plagues a lot of RPGs. Having a solid sense of rhythm will give you an advantage in battle, but this does suck for people who aren't musically inclined. So, the battle system is pretty solid, but it's not easy by any means. You'll have to keep on your toes to beat this one, with tough enemies and bosses littered throughout the game. Despite this, it's still a rather smooth ride without being too easy, but enough to get your brain going. There's just so many weird and wonderful things to this game, like the underwater sequences where you have to do this to get air. The game never hesitates to try new things, like the stealth elements of the ultimate Chimera area, the constant and ever-changing frogs at the save points, and the final level even throws in a reality TV challenge. There's just so many awesome things packed into this game, I honestly can't think of many flaws. It's just so much fun and so emotionally charged that it's entertaining the whole way through. The graphics in the game are excellent. I think the team made the right decision by moving Mother 3 from the N64 to the GBA in order to preserve that 2D style that's both true to its predecessors and it just works. The graphics are colorful, locations are detailed, well-themed, and fun to look at. There was clearly a lot of thought put into the visuals, my favorite example being the game's title, which visually reproduces the game's theme of tension between nature and technology. It's just one example of how the developers paid such close attention to the details in this labor of love. And it's that what really makes a game go from being an excellent title to a masterpiece. The music in the game is unbelievable. I mean, the Mother series is known for its musical focus and wide range of tunes, but Mother 3 takes the cake. Upbeat, catchy tunes, jazz, rock, melancholic piano, and everything in between, the soundtrack of the game shows an impressive breadth, with music that's excellent both by itself and in the context of the game. And that ending theme. Perfect. It leaves me lost for words. Yeah, just like this game has left me lost for words. I almost feel like I've failed to articulate myself as a reviewer. You've probably noticed that I didn't really attempt many horrible jokes in this review as usual, and it's a little shorter than usual, but this is for two reasons. First of all, there's already a lot of reviews for this game online, so covering little details and stuff would be redundant. Secondly, because of this, I best feel that I can only give you my personal reaction to Mother 3, and in case you couldn't tell, this game really means a lot to me, and I consider it just as good, if not better than Earthbound, and that's a game I already considered to be a masterpiece. If I had to describe Mother 3 in one word, I would say breadth. This game just covers so much in its landscape, scope, emotional variety, music, everything. I can't even find that many complaints that aren't really nitpicks. Like, maybe they could have made the chapters closer to the same length, or delve into characters outside of Lucas's family a little more. But any gripes I have are just transcended by the overall experience from this game. I know it wasn't released in North America because it came out late in the GBA life cycle, but it's a crime to keep this game away from people. Actually, scratch that. While editing this review, Earthbound was announced to be coming to the Wii U Virtual Console. Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you! This is a huge day for Mother fans. And now, get Mother 3 over here too! Heck, it's already been translated! You guys are the best, by the way. I recommend this game to literally anyone. RPG fan or not, old or young, everyone should play it. Even if, God forbid, you weren't fond of Earthbound, Mother 3 is more story-oriented and accessible, so at least give it a shot. In the end, for once, I'm left speechless. In fact, I can only conclude this review by describing the game through its slogan. Mother 3 is funny, strange, and heartrending. Until next time, I'm John Tickles, and I look forward to our next random encounter.